All right, so for this one, we're going to calculate the IQR. Remember, that stands for interquartile range of each given data set. Determine whether there are any outliers in each set and list them. Okay, so we have the data points. Remember when you were calculating your 5-number summary, you need to put them all in order. So give me a moment while I put them all in order. All right, so as you can see, I wrote out all the numbers across the top in order from smallest to largest. Just copy it, pause the video, copy it, and then let's move on to the 5-number summary. All right, so your minimum. Minimum is literally just the smallest number. So 58. Your maximum is literally just the biggest number. So it's going to be 100. Then we have to calculate our median next. So to calculate the median, I'm going to start crossing off numbers. I'm just going to underline them, cross off those edge pieces, those next edge pieces. Just keep going. Keep crossing and crossing. Okay, and then we have two numbers in the middle. And so we have 89 plus 89 divided by 2 equals 89 as your median. So then we have our two halves split up right there in the middle. And then we're going to use each of those two halves and we're going to calculate the Q1 and the Q3. So let's start with the Q1. Cross, 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 cross. Keep crossing. All right, we have two numbers in the middle. So we have 82 plus 82 divided by 2 gives us 82 as our Q1. Let's do our Q3 with the second half. So we're going to cross, cross, and keep doing that. We got two numbers in the middle, 96 and 96. Gives us 96 as our Q3. All right, here's our 5-number summary. Now, to calculate the IQR, it's a straightforward formula. Hopefully you remember it. It's Q3 minus Q1. So I'm going to write that out. Q3 minus Q1. This is our formula. So our Q3 is 96 minus our Q1 is 82. And then once you do that, we're going to subtract it and get a value. So my value is 14. 14 is my IQR. Okay, so now that we have our IQR, remember your lower fence has a formula as well. It's literally Q1 minus 1.5 times the IQR. And your upper fence has a formula as well. It's Q3 plus 1.5 times the IQR. So let's plug it in for our lower fence. Our lower fence is Q1, which was 82. The green number, it's 82, minus 1.5 times the IQR, which was 14. And then you just type this into a calculator. So 82 minus 1.5 times 14. And it gives us 61. So 61 is our lower fence. Let's calculate our upper fence. So we have our Q3, which was the purple number, 96, plus 1.5 times our IQR. Remember, our IQR is 14. So I'm going to do 96 plus 1.5 times 14. And I get 117 as my upper fence. So anything that sits outside of our fences will be an outlier. So are there any numbers that are less than 61, or are there any numbers that are greater than 117? Let's take a look at this list of numbers up on the top. So less than 61, right over there. If my line represents my 61, well, 58 is less than 61. So 58 is an outlier. Let's take a look if anything is greater than 117. Nope, 100 was our maximum, so there's nothing bigger than 117. Then our only outlier is 58, and it happens to be a small outlier. All right, so if you have any questions, let me know. Other than that, let's move on to the next problem, which is number 7. So I don't have space to list out more numbers. Actually, I do. I'll just write it on the bottom. So let's pause the video, and then I'll come back and unpause it once I'm done listing the numbers from smallest to greatest. Okay, so as you can see, I've listed all the numbers down here on the bottom. And so now let's calculate our 5-number summary. We have our minimum, which is 38, literally the smallest number. We have our maximum, which is 50, literally the biggest number. And then from here, we can calculate our our median, and then our Q1, and then our Q3. So let's start with our median. I'm going to cross them out one by one from the outside working inwards. Now I've crossed out 4 of the outside pieces already. Let's keep crossing. All right, we have one number, which is our median. Okay, now we have 2 halves. So our first half is right over here. And we're going to cross them out one by one until we get our Q1. So cross, 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 cross. And we have 2 numbers in the middle. So we can just add them together. Divide by 2, and it gives us 42. That's our Q1. Let's do our Q3, which is taking the second half from here to here, not including our median, okay? Notice I did not include the median. And then we're going to do our cross cross until we get to the middle. We got 49 to 49. Add it together. Divide by 2 gives you our Q3. Okay, so your IQR has a specific formula to it. It's Q3 minus Q1, which is equal to 49 minus 42, which is equal to 7. So our IQR, our interquartile range, is 7 because we subtracted the Q3 and the Q1 and you got 7. Then we should calculate our lower fence and our upper fence. Remember the formulas, Q1 minus 1.5 times IQR. And then over here it's Q3 plus 1.5 times IQR. All right, so for the lower fence, we have Q1 minus 1.5 times 7, 42, minus 1.5 times 7. And that gives me 31.5. That is our lower fence. Now let's calculate our upper fence. So we have our Q3 plus 1.5 times our IQR, which is 7. And then you calculate that, type it in a calculator, you get 59.5. So here are our lower and upper fences. Anything that is lower than 31.5 will be an outlier. Anything that is larger than 59.5 will be an outlier as well. So let's take a look at our numbers in order. Is there anything lower than 31.5? Nope, our minimum was 38, so there's no low outliers. Are there any numbers bigger than 59.5? Nope, our biggest number is 50, so there's no outliers that are large either. So for here, you can say none. There can be no outliers, it's fine. This is acceptable. So if you have any questions, let me know. Otherwise, you guys can start working on the skills practice.